Welcome to the R&R show. Sit back and relax and enjoy the best little sports show ever. I am your host, Michael Roope, and this is my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello, William.
Howdy.
All right, we are here doing a special Sunday night edition of the R&R show, and I thought William and I thought it was appropriate, given the games this weekend, and more importantly, the games today. What we just witnessed today, we thought we should give some insight and talk a little bit about what we saw.
Now, were these two games more important today because you won those two games?
They were. I mean, after going down 0-2 against you, I started to feel pressure and of the playoffs, and my boys came through in a big way and got me even for the weekend against you, and still hold a slight one-game advantage in the playoffs over you.
Yeah, I feel like my analysis on the games yesterday were pretty much spot on. We talked about just to go to the Titans and the Ravens and Bills game. I said Stephon Diggs was probably going to be the difference maker. Because I didn't think the Ravens were going to be able to pass it. They really couldn't run it either. So, that game was pretty much spot on. Then the Packers, I called that Aaron Rodgers, I said good offense beats good defense, and that came to fruition. I think A-Rod is just on quite the roll. So I'll be interested to see that game next week.
Yeah, I was a big miss on that Rams game. Unfortunately for me, I thought that Aaron Donald, they said all the right things during the week, that he was healthy, ready. The beast was ready to go, is exactly McVay's words. And he wasn't ready to go. I think he played maybe about 25% of the snaps. And to be honest with you, that defense is, basically a totally different defense with him, without him drawing those double teams to free up some other guys.
Yeah, I said that, Devontae Adams would get after Jalen Ramsey, and he did. I think he won that matchup. But, not having Donald, that just affects the whole defense. Starts the line, affects the second side. He's one of the greatest defenders in history. So when he's out, that affects everything.
And on the other game, I think I was good on the assessment that the Bills would be running a lot of 4 receiver sets and barely running the ball, and I believe they only handed it off to a running back one time in the first half.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. But in that game, it really turned basically on the one play when the Ravens are going in to tie the game up, and then they get that pick. And then basically, from that point on, it kind of unraveled. And then, of course, Lamar gets hurt. But, hey, injuries are a part of the game. And, you got off to a blazing 2-0 start against me for the week.
And it's amazing how quickly things change. Lamar Jackson goes from, winning his first playoff game to a high. Then you see all over social media, is he the guy for the Ravens? Is he the one that, because he plays well in the regular season, but, he's still young. What is he? Still only 24 years old, 25 years old. But there are those, people talking out there. Is he the right guy to lead them to the next tier?
I think he's such a special talent. You're going to be splitting hairs if you don't think he's the right guy. I mean, there isn't anybody that they're going to be able to replace him with that would be able to do the kind of things he does. So they've got the right guy.
Maybe we could get a Lamar Jackson for Deshaun Watson trade.
Yeah, well, that will never happen, though. We talked that the 49ers are dangling Bosa with some other draft capital for Deshaun. Yeah, there's some rumblings. That would be if Deshaun went to the 49ers, that would be unbelievable, because you put him with their head coach Shanahan. I think that's like a match made in heaven, since he's such an offensive genius. The things he would do with Watson would be unbelievable.
I saw possibly the Jets trading that number 2 pick and Sam Darnold.
I did hear maybe the Jags putting together a package of a number 1 pick and some others. which, well, in all fairness, that may even, make sense for the Texans to kind of, stick it to Watson a little bit by throwing him, at, Jacksonville for a bundle of picks.
Man, I think I'd rather have Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, well, I know.
On that rookie contract, we've talked about that a lot, that the rookie contract QBs.
But Deshaun's a top 3 quarterback in the league.
Top 3?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe 4.
I'll give him 5.
I'm telling you right now, I got Mahomes ahead of him. I have Josh Allen ahead of him. And Rodgers, he's almost at the end of his career. You're splitting hairs right there because Deshaun's so young. But the things that Deshaun can do, not only passing but running the ball. I mean, he's light years ahead of Lamar on passing.
Mm-hmm.
He's very dynamic in running the ball, and he just hasn't had much to work with it in Houston. No running game to speak of. He's kind of getting pigeonholed into like a Dan Marino-esque, career right now with, no running game ever, and he's having to do it all on his own.
I saw another interesting possibility was the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
So the Dolphins would offer up like Tua and maybe the number 3 pick, which is funny because they got that number 3 pick because they traded Laramie Tunsil. So that we come full circle with that kind of trade.
Yeah, well, and I think it would serve the Texans right to get rid of Watson, because at this point that thing's fractured beyond belief, and just to try to just tear this whole thing down and rebuild it all back up, and your biggest chip is Watson, and you can get, now the Texans have had a very long history of making the worst trades in the world, but they can't mess that one up, because they should get a Herschel Walker type, haul for someone of that nature. And we'll see what they do, though.
Yeah, well, that was a nice little sidebar conversation.
Yeah, that was, but I will tell you this. Let's talk about today's games and what we witnessed. Starting off with the first game, William. Boy, that was exciting. The momentum swings of obviously Kansas City getting out to the the early lead, and they really I thought they were just going to blow the doors off the Browns.
Yeah.
And then basically Mahomes kind of, first of all, he has a foot injury, which
it was a big toe. I heard it was a big toe.
Big toe, but he was definitely hobbling and not moving around well. And after that injury, and which leads us to the second half of the play of the game when it gets down to was that a 4th down play?
I think it was a 3rd down.
A third down and like 1 with a hobbled Mahomes. Andy Reid draws up a play that has Mahomes running the.
I don't like to argue with Andy Reid, and he knows more football than possibly most anybody on the planet. But I just can't get on board with you sending a hobbled Mahomes on an option.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's Eric Bieniemy calling that. I think he calls the plays, but I'm sure Andy Reid has influence.
Eric might have called the play. That could be, we could argue that, but I'm telling you what, Andy signed off on it.
My thing is the Kansas City Chiefs have more weapons in their offense. You can get a yard.
Yeah, I will say this. If I tell you what, if they ended up not winning that game, Andy would have come under an intense scrutiny. And I will say this also, that I guarantee the Chiefs would have tried to find a way to get him back into the game until Jim Nantz publicly announces during the air, well, if that isn't a concussion, then I don't know what. There's zero chance that the NFL, what's his name, was in the stadium, the commissioner.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that he was listening to the telecast. He's probably like, "Hey, listen, there's zero chance."
I don't know that he'll be back next week.
Oh, there's zero chance he ain't coming back next week. If you think that he's not coming back next week, then you're saying.
Did you see him though? He didn't know where he was.
But he was fine enough to tweet out anything's possible.
He did. He did.
Have a nice play on the words, Patrick. But again, kind of playing through that game, wow, what a big play for Henny to get it all the way down, almost getting the first down to ice the game, first of all. So, that first of all, and that's coming after the brutal interception.
Oh, man.
On a previous drive, but to get him into the point of almost the first down to seal the game, then you had the play of the game. There's a lot of things that happened on the play of the game that I kind of want to talk about with you. First of all, for them I think Romo was unbelievably surprised that the Chiefs hiked the ball.
Yeah.
But not only he hiked the ball with like 6 seconds left on the play clock, which was unbelievable, surprising, since the Browns had no timeouts and they were basically, limited to what they could, do. And you hike the ball with 6 seconds left on the game clock, and you don't even run the ball, you pass it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I made the comment to you that was like the opposite of watching Bengals football under Marvin Lewis. Very conservative, non-winning plays. And that's just a winning play to me. I mean, and my thoughts are, okay, you've got a half a yard to get. All right, are you going to get that half a yard? Or are you going to risk punting, having Baker Mayfield drive down the field and beat you? If you're a winning coach, you want to get that half yard.
Well, and I tell you what, Andy, that's what Andy's all about. He plays to win instead of plays to lose.
And you've got Tyreek Hill. He's probably the most unguardable person in the league. I mean, top 5.
You look back on it now, you really think that hiking it with the 6 seconds left
caught them off guard.
Off guard, because they're going to run it down and it's going to be like but no, they throw it to genius, because the most unguardable player, like you said, the cheetah in Tyreek Hill, and when you catch him off guard and you're hiking it early, the guy's stunned, the DB. Yeah. It was as long as Henny can make that throw, which is a big if after watching his last throw of a pick, was pretty neat to see.
Yeah, I mean, like you hit the nail on the head. If Andy Reid would have called that play with Mahomes, he got concussed, was out of the game, and then either he didn't get that 4th down right there, turned the ball over, or if he punted and they got beat, but he put shoved all. I mean, he went from the GOAT to the hero just by doing that and having the wherewithal to do something like that.
He went from the GOAT to the GOAT.
No.
Oh, he went from the GOAT, being a jackass, to the GOAT.
Yeah.
Greatest in the world.
Yeah.
But literally, that was you felt the momentum swing, because I think the Browns would have scored, because the Chiefs defense was gassed.
Yeah.
And Hunt was fresh and he was running downhill, gashing them. I think if they get the ball back, I think the Browns would score and win that game. So,
yeah, and I think if Mahomes didn't get hurt, I would have hit my 10-point line and I'd be 3-1 right now.
A bunch of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. If Lamar doesn't get hurt, I think that we could do that all day.
Yeah.
But when that gets to the nightcap, which was the game I was most excited for, and I think you were too. And two surefire Hall of Famers matching up with Breeze and Brady. Obviously, what side of the tilt I was hoping for. Yeah. I had a love affair with Tommy Terrific for many years. He's led me to many, many fantasy championships, and he's been near and dear to my heart. And as evident, I've got the Brady GOAT shirt on, and I think today he proved again why you never bet and count Tom Brady out.
Yeah, there for a while I was planning on comparing this matchup to the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. boxing match of just a couple guys going out there over the hill, which Drew Brees. I think you just made a comment on our page, Breeze Meat Toast. He's had a great career, but man, he just didn't have it today. And now there were a lot of things going on that I don't blame Breeze for. One, Michael Thomas just I don't know what happened. Kamara didn't have a great game. Taysom Hill didn't play, but it really does come back to Drew Brees. He just didn't have it, and Tom Brady did. I mean, he played well down the stretch. Played an efficient game. Played a great game against a good defense, and came out on top.
I will say this, and for the Saints fans, I mean, I know everybody loves Drew Brees in New Orleans. He's done a lot for the community, but that team that's been put together the last 3 years, there's zero chance they shouldn't have came away with one, maybe two Super Bowls. That team, from offensively to defensively, is unstoppable. But Drew Brees has not played well in the playoffs the last 3 years, and he is the sole reason they've been knocked out the last 3 years. He did not play well early on. The Bucks, they look like a deer in headlights. They rode that storm out. I think they did get lucky when that punt returner got out of the game, because he was almost going to single-handedly take down the Bucks. But I think the Bucks figured out pretty early that, you know what, let's just press those receivers and make Breeze beat us over top, and try to, basically, suffocate, 10 yards in. And Breeze just couldn't find he couldn't get the ball over the top if he wanted to. And the Bucks ended up knowing it. And that's why they ended up squeezing him for pretty much, second half on.
Yeah, I mean, and the Bucks had their running game going really well too, both Fournette and Jones. I mean, that obviously helped Brady pick them apart. I mean, and then, I think that was before the end of the first half where Godwin dropped that touchdown pass. I was like, ooh, that's not a good sign. But they overcame that and played a great second half, and they're moving on. And now we get Brady and Rodgers.
Oh boy, another Titanic hill, and I'm excited for us to make our picks, next weekend, and I'm excited to see where those lines fall. I think I saw an early line. I think maybe you put on our page for the Chiefs Bills. I think the Chiefs are already favorite, and they don't even know if Mahomes is going to play. I'm pretty certain that he's going to play.
Yeah.
But
I think Rodgers is playing a little bit better than Breeze, so I think we'll get a better matchup.
I do, but I also think Green Bay's defense is not nearly as good as Saints. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
Saints defense is elite, and for them to put a 30 spot on them now, of course, they got lucky with a couple of those turnovers, from the Breeze. But, in that game earlier in the year, they forced Rodgers into a few turnovers themselves. So
the great equalizer will be the weather. I mean, it's going to be cold up in Green Bay. Brady's an old man. You know what cold weather does to old men?
Old Rodgers, though, he has in their spring chicken. So we'll see. But talking about the games this weekend, it's pretty interesting that you had two of the marquee quarterbacks concussed in Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if that's ever happened in a chance to go to the conference championship. That was pretty
What's crazy about that, Lamar, as you could tell, I mean, his neck snapped back. Mahomes, I just couldn't tell which part of that tackle that he got concussed on.
Well, I think when he got his arm up in there and they forced it down.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he didn't take like a helmet-to-helmet shot by any stretch. But Mahomes isn't like the biggest guy in the world. Like if that happened to Josh Allen, he would have just got up but Mahomes, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, his foot and that's giving him problems because he was just like,
yeah.
But they kind of knew, and that lineman kind of knew too. He was trying to hold him up so nobody saw. Like, hey, let's get him up.
It looked like a couple of our buddies after a couple drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, let's make him look like Bernie out there. A weekend of Bernie's.
Yeah,
trying to keep him moving along. But I don't think there's any doubt that Mahomes plays.
Man, I don't know.
The league doesn't want to see a Josh Allen versus Chad Henne match.
No, they don't. But I'm telling, I don't know.
They will make the necessary moves to make sure that that game happens with the Ferrari. So, but
do we want to make any early predictions, or we're going to hold off on that?
We'll hold off on it.
Right.
I'm glowing over here about my boy.
You are.
Making his what did they say? His 14th conference championship. That's just boggling.
I mean, you got a nice haircut. It's your birthday. You got great lighting over there. You got a microphone, and I'm over here. I got terrible light. I need a haircut. I don't know what's going on.
I think maybe like a 5th place trophy in the back.
Yeah, no, that's my 1989 MVP Little League trophy.
I love it. But guys, hey, this should be a lot of fun coming up. We'll definitely do a conference championship preview this weekend, and give a pretty detailed insight for the games and make our predictions again. So
are we taking the R&R show to the Super Bowl?
Well, I think we should. You think we can get some credentials? Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. I mean, go back down to my basement and shoot our shit.
Yeah. That's more likely.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging with us late on this Sunday evening, and thanks for all the birthday wishes. Thanks for that lovely post, by the way, William. That was very nice of you.
I try.
Yeah, you found a good one from one of our fantasy drafts with the little hairdo.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thought it was a great post.
It was solid. Better than that Brad Fisher, although he did get the B capitalized.
He did. Just a plain old happy birthday. Way to put in some effort, Icky.
Thanks for the effort, Nick. So, but anyway, guys, we'll see you guys this coming weekend. Thanks again.